Hey everybody, welcome to episode 140 of Is This Thing Working? How you doing, Denise?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Had a good weekend this weekend, Father's Day weekend. I hope everybody else had a great one too.
Yeah, we did. We kind of hung around the house and worked out in the yard and got a lot done. It was real hot here in East Texas, but the sun was shining. It was a beautiful weekend, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I hope everybody had a happy Father's Day. I know it was a busy weekend for a lot of fathers out there in our grassroots movement this weekend. We're going to talk about that a little bit today, what went on this weekend.
Before we get started today, though, let's remember our sponsor. Today, our sponsor is Brickhouse Nutrition. And one of the great products that Brickhouse Nutrition has is Field of Greens, your daily dose of vibrant nutrition, packed with organic greens, fruits, and vegetables. Each scoop delivers essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Simply mix with water or add to your favorite smoothie for a refreshing boost of vitality. Fuel your body with the goodness it craves. Experience the power of Field of Greens and thrive every day.
I love Field of Greens. I have some myself. I use it every single day. It gives me energy. You know, after I get through drinking my coffee, of course, I have a green drink, and I love it, and I put it in my green drink. It's part of it, and they have different flavors. I have the wild berry, so check them out. Thank you to our sponsors and for you for clicking on the link below. Get you some Field of Greens. You'll feel better for it.
It's www.brickhousenutrition.com. All right, and before we start our show today, we want to state these are our opinions and our assertions. If you agree with us, tell your friends about it. Share our show. And if you don't agree with us, tell your friends about it and share our show.
Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name. Is This Thing Working? And our podcast is available for download on all platforms like Apple and Spotify. You can also watch us on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, download the Rumble app so you can follow the show and you will receive instant notifications when we go live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you. And let's get on with Trump Watch.
Let's do it.
President Trump was in Michigan on Saturday. Well, he got around too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He had a big day.
So he went to this church at the 180 church, and they did a round table. And listen.
President Trump, I'm so humbled that you would be here. President Obama never came to the hood, so to speak, right? President Joe Biden, he went to the big NAACP dinner, but he never came to the hood. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Very humble, really nice. Thank you. My honor.
Yeah, the reception that he got when he walked in the door was amazing too. If people did see that, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that video went viral over the weekend because, you know, that's true. Obama didn't make it down there. I mean, into the hood. And I don't think he did anywhere. And the fact that President Trump has been to the New York Bronx, Bronx, you know, I mean, that has shocked them. And then he's in Detroit talking to black leaders. I mean, he is going where no one has gone before. You know, and he's giving them solutions to problems that they've been looking for answers for. So
and that's one of the things that, remember, we talked about that last week too, is you know, when you go to the voting booth, we encourage each of you to do what? Be informed and be engaged. And we talked about policy, that it's come a time to where we need to begin to listen to the policies that these candidates are bringing. And President Trump brings policy. He brings what is important to the people.
That's exactly right.
And that's what we need to do, is focus in on policy.
That's right. And listen to this video of him talking about one of his big policy things that he's going to do when he gets elected president.
We're going to bring back the auto industry to Michigan. We're bringing it back to Michigan. We're going to bring back the auto, and I can tell you from our senator, we will work on that together, but we're going to bring back the auto country. It's going to be called auto country again, because you've You've lost, over the years, you've lost more than 50% of the automobile making capacity. And I think the number's even much higher than that. It used to be the only place, and now it's almost, it didn't go down with me, by the way. We did very well. We kept them out with tariffs and other things, but we're going to do something that's going to really bring back massive auto manufacturing to the state of Michigan, and we're going to create jobs like you've never seen.
He was very, very on point the whole time that he was there. And while he was there, he also announced Black Americans for Trump Coalition. His campaign did. And they have a coalition with endorsements from elected officials, athletes, entertainers, community leaders, and pastors who love our country. The coalition launches ahead of the Juneteenth holiday, acknowledging and commemorating the end of slavery in the United States.
But this was his statement on his website, on his campaign website, and he also goes on to say in it that President Trump accomplished more for Black Americans than any other president in recent history by implementing America First policies on the economy, immigration, energy, law and order, and foreign policy. Historic rates of Black voters now support President Trump, and the reason is simple. Black voters know that President Trump is the only presidential candidate who can deliver results on day one because he already has, including landmark unemployment rates for Black Americans, increased median income for Black households, historic permanent funding for HBCUs, comprehensive bipartisan criminal justice reform, and nearly $50 billion in funds to revitalize opportunity zones. And so, just like what we said, President Trump is going to bring policy to the people. He's bringing policy that people understand and policy that people feel and live each and every day. We talk about that, the
Yes.
cost of gas, the cost of your groceries, the cost of your automobiles, the
You know,
fact that you don't have jobs to even make automobiles.
You know, exactly. You know, right now it's just a cost of Bidenflation,
Yes, it is.
you know, and Black families have paid the cost. You know, Black families, brown families, white families, every family in America has paid that price right now.
That's what I was going to say. Even with that, and you watch him there, and you see that he didn't piddle into the talking points. He didn't piddle into the emotional garbage. You know, he didn't piddle into the pandering. What he done was he come to him and he talked to him about the things that
Real
matter.
things.
Yes.
Real things that matter to them and not ideological stuff. I mean, and that's all the Democrats are about, ideologues.
Exactly.
You know, that really is.
Identity politics and putting people into a box. Well,
That's true. But also, Saturday evening, the People's Convention was going on in Detroit, Michigan. It was held at the Huntington Place Convention Center from Friday until Sunday, actually, and it was put on by Charlie Kirk's Turning Point Action. They have risen over the years into this big grassroots movement, and so many of our important grassroots leaders showed up. And President Trump was also the keynote speaker of the night, and we have a video of his opening statement here at the People's Convention.
From Marquette to Midland, from Lansing to Flint, and from Grand Rapids to right here in Detroit, we stand on the shoulders of red-blooded Michigan patriots who laid the railroads, worked the factories, tilled the fields, forged the steel, fought the battles and won the victories that built the Motor City and made America into the greatest and most powerful nation in the history of the world. And we're going to bring back your auto industry at a level greater than it was 30 years ago.
Man, listen to those people.
I know, and the reception for him was that way the entire time. We watched the entire thing, and it was, the reception and the crowd was that way. They were that worked up for him the entire time.
I do believe that is the biggest grassroots get together so far. There were so many people there. They filled up. They sold out.
Yeah.
Of the convention center. It was amazing to watch all of that. You know, to be a part, because we're a part too. We might not be there, but we push all this out because this is really important. And President Trump gets up there and tells you, hey, this is what we're going to do. America first. We are going to bring back manufacturing. And that is what these corporations don't want. So we're in a fight and a battle right now between our corporate world and the actual people that are spending the money on this corporate world. So we're going to see who wins come November 5th, and it's going to be President Trump, I'm pretty sure. He also shouted out to several people during the convention, but one of them that caught everybody's attention quite a bit was Steve Bannon, because everybody knows what's going on with Steve Bannon. If you don't, he is supposed to report to prison on July 1st over a misdemeanor and a non-January 6 committee subpoena that he didn't supposedly, all that. Anyway, it goes into, it gets pretty in-depth. We've talked about it quite a bit. So he shouted out to Steve Bannon. Listen to what he had to say.
We have a man who's got a really successful show. Everybody watches it. I watch it as often as I can. And he's a smart guy, and he's actually got a big heart, but I won't tell people that because I'll ruin his reputation. Steve Bannon. Where's Steve? Where is he? Thank you, Steve. He's great. He's a smart cookie.
Yeah, he is. That was cool. Did you hear all those people hollering once again?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause everybody loves Steve Bannon because he's the leader. Well, President Trump's the leader of the party, of course. But Steve Bannon is the leader of our grassroots movement.
What, to me, the most impressive thing about the convention was the crowd energy and the reaction from the crowd, man, through all of the speakers that came out there, and especially when Bannon came out, because Steve always has a lot to say. Here we go.
And then we have to go to January 6th, and we have to find out every FBI agent, all the CIA, DHS, Chris Wray, all of them. The Fedsurrection must be investigated.
People got on their feet.
On the afternoon of January 20th, we must free the 1,400 patriots and must incarcerate the criminals. Every patriot and patriot grave, from the Revolution to the Civil War to Normandy, now this 80th anniversary of Saipan, which is big as Normandy, every patriot that died on a battlefield demands it of us. They demand it. They say, we bequeath, we gave all to give you this republic, and look what you allowed to happen. Well, guess what? It stops on the afternoon of 20 January 2025, because then the criminals in this government, the criminals on Wall Street, the criminals in Silicon Valley, that's when it's going to start. That's when Accountability Day starts, and we must go there.
Yeah, the energy was incredible, and the messages were good. Hey, each and every guest that come on the stage, man, the crowd there, and this is what excites me the most about this crowd, is that this is young Republicans. This is young MAGA people. This is young men and women with America First ideas, and they understand what America is. They don't understand what Joe Biden and the Democrats are trying to make America become. They understand what America is. And like I say, the energy of the crowd was amazing. It was utterly amazing.
What's so cool is that they kept bringing on more speakers and a whole lot of speakers, Jack Posobiec and Charlie Kirk and everybody come out and talk. I wish we could play every single one of their speeches. Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, representative, was there. Anna Paulina Luna was there. And so
Byron,
yes, and Tim Scott, J.D. Vance. I mean, you had so many people that showed up to talk to the people. And I wish we could play every single one of their speeches because they were all on fire. But one particular thing that really stuck out, and it was Jack Posobiec of Human Events. And he gave a fire breather speech, and then he surprised everybody with a guest. Listen to this.
But there's another man. There's a man who taught us many things. A man that is hated even more by the media, all those media back there, even more than Donald Trump, even more than us. A man who taught us that there's a war on for your mind. A man who taught us that if you are listening to this, you are the resistance. And a man who taught us that the answer to 1984 is 1776. Let's play the video.
Censored ban in the English language.
They want me shut down. I can't just roll over and tell them. So you've made me be all in for Trump. They're waging war against civilization and society to break our old system to bring in something even worse. This is part of the global awakening to the New World Order. It's all about breaking our will.
The answer to 1984 is 1776! 1776!
1776! 1776!
That was the emotion. That was the energy that was there the whole time. And
You just can't make that stuff up.
you can't.
I mean, when people recorded all this, I mean, they got the sound and the looks and I'm just going
The
to give
excitement. Yeah.
TP Actions credit
Yeah.
for everything that they put on. Good for them. I mean, these are young kids, and they have put on a massive amount of grassroots campaigns out there.
Yes.
You know, so please look them up. Check them out because this is going to be the best ever win in America. America first, y'all. This is exciting. It's exciting to see our young people step up like this and be so excited for America.
Yes, it is. And look at this convention and all the people that did show up, not counting President Trump, who brought the most energy and the most heat to the crowd was Steve Bannon and Alex Jones, because those two are going to bring you what? The most truth. Can't lose focus, and that's what they encouraged us to do. Don't lose focus, and the way that we battle back against 1984 is to remember 1776. That's how
right.
we answer each and everything that the Biden regime is trying to pull on us.
1776. Exactly.
Experience the ultimate shipping solution with EasyShip. Are you tired of navigating complex logistics and wasting valuable time? Say goodbye to the stress of shipping and hello to simplicity with EasyShip. Our intuitive platform allows you to compare rates from leading carriers, schedule pickups with ease, and track your shipments in real time, all in one place. Whether you're a small business owner looking to optimize your shipping process or an individual sending a gift to a loved one, EasyShip has you covered. Our user-friendly interface puts the power of efficient shipping at your fingertips, saving you time and money. Don't let shipping challenges hold you back. Try EasyShip today and discover a new level of convenience and reliability. Visit EasyShip.com now to get started.
Please click that link below. Thank you very much. So there were some polls that came out this weekend also, and there was a straw poll from the TP Action.
Yeah.
And then there was one from Interactive Polls.
Yes.
You know, we're going to look at the differences in the two. Now, the one from the straw poll was done from the people that went to the convention. And so that was, of course, total conservatives. The one from the interactive poll is from registered voters.
Yeah.
Right?
Polymarket.com is who done that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the difference, okay, see, the one at Turning Point Action shows Vance at leading the way for VP contender at 43%, with Tim Scott at 15.4%, Mark Rubio at 7.7%, and Burgum way down here at 7%.
Yeah, and this is why we wanted to bring this up, because I thought this was, pretty interesting, the contrast between the two polls. And did Vance get that high of a percentage just because he's well known among them, or because they thought he was? Because, see, we've heard talk throughout last week, even President Trump talking about the interest he had in Doug Burgum, and Doug Burgum seemed to rise, throughout the week, and you begin to see his name pop up in the news. And that's what's interesting. When we seen this poll right here, I was like, well, I know I looked at an interactive poll, and it showed Burgum to be in the lead. It showed Burgum to be in the lead at 27% with Tim Scott being in second. J.D. Vance was down there at fourth with 12% of the vote. And what was interesting most of all was not the fact that they're so different, but it was the amount of shift change that you've seen. Within a week, he rose 11 points in his polling. Tim Scott actually dropped 10 points in his polling, and J.D. Vance, it shows on here on interactive polls that he actually dropped 2 points to 12%. So it's just kind of interesting the way that they've put these two up here.
And one of the things I will point out is Charlie Kirk is a big J.D. Vancer, VP.
Right.
So I know he's been pushing him with his audience quite a bit. I watched the first hour of Charlie Kirk usually every day. And because it's on in the background, basically, and he talks about J.D. Vance and has J.D. Vance on there all the time. He is pushing for J.D. Vance. I'm just letting you know that.
Who would your pick be?
My pick would be Burgum.
Me too.
Because really look at his state.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to look at look at what's going on, the accomplishments of
North Dakota,
and then what he could do to help America in the long run after President Trump, because that's what we really need. Also, is a very strong vice president. I know President Trump comes out and says vice president, oh, that's not important. They don't do nothing. But
it is to us.
It is to us, and he's only a one-term president.
Exactly,
because he can't run again.
Who do you think? And that's kind of where I was going with that too. Even with Doug Burgum, I kind of, from the start, back during the primary debates, if you remember, I talked about how I liked him back then, and we brought him up even during that time.
Yes, and I like him.
To me, one of the keys during the debate was the fact that when they did ask him questions and he answered them more toward an America First agenda and more toward America First principles and ideas. Do you remember how they kind of pushed him off to the side and then they wouldn't talk to him no more?
They wouldn't, I know.
To me, that was the biggest tell that's probably the best vice president pick for President Trump would be him.
Yes. What I think is also funny is if you think about the other ones that are on there, like Tim Scott, he came out this weekend and wanted to say, oh, I wouldn't certify the election any other way than Mike Pence did, immediately.
Yep.
Immediately
bye. Yep. Bye-bye, Tim.
I mean, because, look, that election was stolen.
Yep.
And I believe that the vice president should have given the president his voice on the matter.
You bet.
He didn't even do that.
You bet.
I mean, if he would have let, the president and the people, and there was 129 of them, by the way, that were saying, hey, something's wrong with this.
Yep.
Let's look at it. Let's take it back to the states and give it 10 more days. That is what people forget.
Yep.
And Tim Scott just went up there on one of those leftist
on a CNN show.
leftist
interview.
TV, and let them bait him.
Yep.
And no, sir. We don't need you. And don't be coming out, Fox News, saying that Tim Scott is the one that will give you the most people will get behind you because of Tim Scott. That's bull. Tim Scott is a rhino, and I've never been a fan. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yep, me too.
I'm just saying. I've never been a fan of Tim Scott. So he's gone after that. At least in my book, I'm not going to look at him no more. That's it. I'll look at Byron Donalds, before I will look at him. But I always liked Byron Donalds better anyway.
Right.
We want to remind everybody And we're going to move on to another subject that is so important, and it was been trending all weekend. And I really want you to understand what's going on here. This is why we listen to President Trump's policies and what he's going to do when he gets back in. And then what Biden is doing to stop President Trump from doing his plans. Because President Trump wants to, what does he want to do? What does more than half of America want to do?
Close the border.
Close the border and deport. Deport, deport, deport. Biden is going to offer a pathway to legal status to migrants who have lived in the U.S. for 10 years. So everything Biden is doing from now until the election or until after the election is stopping anything that President Trump wants to do. So if he comes out with a policy, Biden is going to do something to stop it.
And so far, the only policy I've seen Biden talk about is
this, right?
Immigration.
Here. Immigration.
Yep.
The Biden administration is planning to offer work permits and deportation protections to illegal immigrants who are married to American citizens, provided they've lived in the U.S. at least 10 years. The program, known as Parole in Place, would also clear the way to permanent legal status and U.S. citizenship for hundreds of thousands of migrants. It would gut existing laws to remove obstacles preventing anyone who entered the U.S. illegally from obtaining green cards without leaving the country. They're also planning to give them temporary visas, such as an H-1B visa for high-skilled workers, sources told the CBS News, which is where we're getting our information, but it's from the New York Post. What I do want to point out, though, here is Obama came out with his statement about the DACA recipients. Y'all remember Obama's Dreamers executive action, where 12 years ago he was seeking permanent solution for DACA recipients? Okay, so this is on the tails of what Biden is doing. So Biden is actually doing what Obama has been trying to do for 12 years. And the Supreme Court came out and said, no, sir, you can't do that. But they are continually trying their best to make those people that are here illegally legal.
By calling it parole in place. Yeah, recipients called Dreamers were able to request consideration of deferred action for a period of 2 years, which was subject to renewal. And that was the DACA Act. Well, Obama had to come out and say, today, most of original dreamers are grown. They're serving their communities as teachers, doctors, lawyers, and having children of their own. But because the program that offered the protection remains temporary, they're also living in fear of being sent back to a country many of them can't even remember, Obama said in a post on X. He praised the Biden administration for making it easier for Dreamers to access federal programs like health care, but he warned that Dreamers will continue to live under a cloud of uncertainty until Congress acts. He goes, that's why I'm calling on Congress to once again pass a permanent legislative solution for Dreamers, one that offers them a pathway to citizenship and makes our immigration system fairer, more efficient, and more just. But 5 people that had knowledge of the plan told the AP that the White House officials are closing in on a plan that would tap the president's executive powers to shield spouses of U.S. citizens without legal status from deportation, offering them work permits, and ease their path toward permanent residency and eventually American citizenship. Basically, what they're trying to do is keep these people in the country and call it parole in place.
And giving them all the benefits of American citizens,
Exactly.
without being an American citizen.
Yes.
If you've been here more than 10 years, you get health insurance and everything else, which is why our health insurance is going up, by the way.
And with the green card, just like what they're talking about with the green card, the parole in place allows them to stay here in the country and apply for their green cards here and just in perpetuity just continue to do that and never have to go back home. That was the thing with the green cards, is if you let them expire, you had to go back to your country and reapply for the green card to come back.
Yes.
He's trying to sidestep all of it when the Supreme Court has already said you can't do this. And I want to touch on this for just a second. I'm getting tired of when the Supreme Court interprets the law that's already in place, and all they're doing is interpreting the law that is already in place. They're not making new legislature. They're interpreting the law that's already there. And when they say, Joe Biden, you can't do that, and then he just turns around and creates an executive order and rewords it to sidestep it, same as he done with the student loans, same kind of shit. I'm just tired of that.
I am too.
I'm tired of
really,
that kind of governing.
I agree with you 100% because, you know, they have dogged the Supreme Court for so long, and they're continuing it over and over. I see an article every single day about them going after our constitutional judges. You see, that's what the Democrats don't want anymore. They don't want us to follow the Constitution. They don't want us, you know, to live by these rules that have been set out since 1776.
That's exactly right.
You know, they don't want that. They want you to forget that there's a Constitution, and we're going to make laws however we want to make laws, and you're going to abide by them. What they're doing here with these illegals, and why we continue to call them illegal immigrants, is because it's illegal for them to do this. It's illegal for them people to come over here and expect to get handouts from the American people, from the working class who work very hard every single day, and our taxes are going up, and we, in essence, are being taxed without representation right now because we're being forced, and yes, we're being forced to pay for people that we don't even know who they are.
They're people that are not citizens of our country.
And another thing that they're doing with the non-citizens is what they're calling them, non-citizens instead
Right.
of illegal immigrants anymore. I thought it was newcomers, so I guess I don't know what they're going to end up landing on, non-citizens, I guess. But they are getting voter registration forms from across the U.S. And Republicans are trying to stop it, which I call bull. Do you call bull on that?
I do. Yep, I do.
Welfare offices and other agencies in 49 U.S. states are providing voter registration forms to migrants without requiring proof of citizenship, leading Republicans and conservatives to call for swift federal action to stop the handouts. Well, of course.
Yep.
And shouldn't Democrats be calling for swift action?
It says that, yeah.
Well, why is it just Republicans want free and fair elections? Why is that? You know?
Well, think about this, though, and I was going to point this out. It says 49 U.S. states. Every state but Arizona is doing that. Every state.
There is currently no requirement on federal voting forms to provide proof of U.S. citizenship, though it is illegal to falsely claim one is a citizen or for a non-citizen to cast a ballot in a federal election. Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.